Hey everybody, Kerzac here again and bring you another review in my backyard. And today I'm reviewing the Transformers Generations Deluxe Class Sky Shadow. And that's the 2011 older generations, not the Thrilling 30 generations in the Combiner Wars and such. So yeah, this is the older style generations figures. This figure is a not a retool, but a remold of the Generations Thunderwing. Pretty much the exact same figure, just different colors, and then it has a different head and chest molded for it. So you can see he's a very interesting looking jet. I believe it's based off of a Raptor jet, an F-22, but with quite a few differences. But it does look pretty good. It's got a lot of paint as expected of the older style generations figures. You can see he actually has a little gun sticking out right here. It looks pretty nice. He's got silver around the cockpit. And the nice red translucent where you can see a little seat inside for a figure that will never fit in there. He's got some red paint right here on the little fins on the front of the cone. Red and silver going up the wings, which all looks pretty good, and you can see underneath the tail fin there's some silver coming out like that, shines really nicely. And you got red going along the tail fins there, and the tail fins are at an angle. And you do have this little odd angle sticking out side wings for the main wings right there. So he's got a lot of little extra wings. It's a very interesting looking figure. Of course, at the back you have these little vent jet things, which are obviously kind of just the feet folded up. And you look on the bottom, and yeah, it's just a robot not even trying. Like, the legs are folded up, the arms are really just sticking out with nothing changed. Pretty much everything is where it is. You can kind of... This figure isn't very good at changing from one mode to the other. I mean, literally the entire robot's just taking off the bottom of the jet, and in robot mode, the jet's just folded up on the back. So, yeah, it's not the best transformation, but we'll get to that later. He does have a couple gimmicks, though. For one thing, this little piece pops off the front to give you a little drone unit. You can see nothing too fancy, just molded in plastic, but it does have a little clear red plastic there for like an eye, or a little sensor, I guess you could say. And he does have some molding right there to kind of give him a thruster. There is a big hole in him because when he's in the jet mode, that's where the landing gear goes. So when you pull him down out, you actually pull down the landing gear too. And the jet mode still looks alright without him, though it does look a little... It definitely looks like it's missing a piece, like it hit something. But it gives you a little drone unit. It's a pretty neat little gimmick. You don't see that kind of stuff too often, or outside of like stuff like Soundwave. Well, he just clips right back on like that. Like I mentioned, you can fold up landing gear, and you can actually stand alright without the landing gear because this chest piece, the folded up chest piece, sticks out so far. Actually stands a little bit better, I think. But yeah, that's about it. Nothing too fancy. He does have these guns, which come with missiles. They are missile launchers. So they do launch the missile, and they launch pretty far, but I'm not about to lose one of the missiles out in the grass out here, so. But they do have pegs right here. So they just peg in just fine underneath the wings right there. Get that camera. Oh, missile's trying to launch. There we go. There you go. Missile launchers, so you can have some, you know, something to shoot with. Take out some Autobots. Destroy a city. All that Decepticon stuff. So yeah, he actually looks pretty good. So let's get down to transformation. Oh, these actually fold out. This is for transformation, but you can also have a kind of a video-gamey looking jet if you so want. But first part of transformation, go ahead and just fold down the tail wings like that. Fold out the outer part of the wings. Come to the front of the cockpit here, and you're just going to pull it up, and it comes up on this little hinge here. A little strut, make it a double hinge. You're also going to come back here to the thrusters, or which will become the legs. That pulls this whole panel up. So you're going to bring the front of the jet down, and this whole piece folds back like this. Just folds on itself, then the jet piece, front of the jet just lays on top. Like I said, the whole kind of actual jet just folds up in panels on the back like that. So now we have the actual robot bits underneath. You're going to grab this piece right here. You're going to grab right as a little cod piece there. You might have to bend the legs out all the way a little bit because the shins actually hold this piece in. So you have to bend the legs slightly like that, the knee. Then this whole piece flips out. And all this right in here folds out in a big, thick strut. Much thicker strut than what the jet's on. It doesn't really fold flat. It kind of comes on at a weird angle, as you can see. It's just kind of sticking on an angle like that. You just straighten out the legs. Fold open the feet. That lets you stand them up. We'll bring the camera up a little bit. You fold all this back down, You can see it actually brings the chest piece down, which reveals the face, because normally it's like that, but just bring the chest piece down like that. And there you have Sky Shadow in his robot mode. If we can get him to stand, we just gotta adjust his feet because they are kind of odd. Alright, one little thing we can do since we got him in his robot mode, these little gun pieces that were little guns sticking off, they do fold out like that. They don't really do anything, but they do fold out a little bit more, which does make it look a little more different. Also helps for like getting the arm outward, so. But yeah, that's Sky Shadow's robot mode, and if you had Thunderwing figure, if you've seen the Thunderwing figure, you can see he's almost all of it is just borrowed right off of Thunderwing. The only difference is, from what I understand, is the chest is remolded, and of course the head is remolded. So now we have a very Unicron, or if you prefer, who is it? Galactus. If you want a very Galactus style head from Marvel, then that's what he's got going here. Take a look at it, and you can see he's got his horns done in silver, which looks pretty good. His face is also painted in silver with some little detailing for the underneath the eyes, which all looks pretty nice. The eyes are done with red clear plastic, and they do glow pretty well if you give them the sun. So it actually does look pretty good. It's a very nice looking head sculpt. The chest has this gold paint right here with some silver wiring detail. Red coming down the sides, a little bit of red paint right there, some white for the abdomen, some red on the little cod piece there. He's got white right here, which is actually where landing gear was. I forgot that it was folded out. But just to show you here, these do fold up, make landing gear, and he could roll, but who's rolling a jet? And of course, the red and silver paint's actually from the jet mode because it's just the wings folded up. No new paint on the back or anything, just the plastic. And the feet and nowhere else in the arms are painted, so it is a little very standard, no extra paint, but it doesn't look too bad either. I kind of like the arms to be fully molded in gray. It gives them a very solid look. So he does look pretty good. He does still have his weapons, of course. And you can actually peg them into the wings they were attached to before, like that, or kind of come out an angle if you prefer. I actually don't think that looks too bad. You can kind of get like a super jet flying mode for that. These are actual thrusters so you can go fast. And these actually are compatible with the C-clips that were popular at the time. We had a lot of Dark on the Moon and Generations figures that had the C-clip system, so they can actually attach. C-clips can actually attach right here on the sides of the missiles. And of course, you can also just hold them in his hands. And they are a very weird peg because they're so short. They're very short pegs. They just barely fit in the hand. And they do have this weird system where you can double them up, where they have these two tabs on the top, and there's these two tabs right behind where the missile is. So you could double them up and give him a super weapon in his robot mode. Actually, it's a little too bad. It looks pretty threatening. If you had both him and Thunderwing, that's a good way to kind of differentiate them. One of them has them each individual missiles, the other one has it as a double cannon. So that looks pretty good. I kind of enjoy the little extra stuff like that. So articulation wise, it's pretty decent. You do get the head is actually ball jointed slightly, but it doesn't really go forward and back much. But it does turn, but it turns at an angle because of how it's attached to the head. Because you see the neck is actually at an angle right there. So when he looks left and right, it's kind of lifting his head up, like curving his head side to side, like he's asking a question, like, what'd you say? Huh? So just silly stuff like that. Looks pretty neat though, gives it some expression. Shoulders are universal, but the pointy bits in the shoulder do get in the way constantly when you're trying to move it forward and back, so going back can't really go very far, and going forward it immediately gets stuck. So that's as high as it can go, really, unfortunately. You could fold the wings out of the way like that to kind of get more movement, but you're having to do so much. You're basically going to have to constantly be adjusting the wings in order to properly use his arm, which does stink. I mean, that's some of the most basic movement a figure can do. It does go outward just fine though. You do get a swivel right here, and you have this weird little kind of flat piece that just sticks off his arm. You do get a hinge, and you actually have a wrist swivel. It's pretty nice. Enough at the waist, but you do get hip movement. Goes that far back, that far forward. These skirts are on hinges, so you can move him out of the way and bring his leg outward. You do get a leg swivel, but it's really tight on mine. You do get a knee just a little over 90 degrees, just a hair over 90 degrees. And you do get figure articulation. There actually is a tilt in there. Very slight tilt, but you do get a slight ankle tilt, so you can spread his legs a little bit more, and it looks natural still. Nothing forward and back really. Very able to get very slight movement, so you could get a very slight ankle tilt forward or ankle pivot forward. So you can get a little bit of posing going on with him. So yeah, he actually has really nice leg articulation, and even his arm articulation is good, especially with the wrist swivel. It's just really limited by the shoulders unless you want to feel like messing with his wing kibble a lot. But yeah, that's a Sky Shadow. He's a pretty neat little figure. I love the detailing on him. I think he looks really cool. I don't have the Titan's Return version of him, so I'm not sure how that one kind of stacks up against him, though I do have Overlord, so I have a general idea. I'm kind of fine with him just being a normal deluxe. That feels about right to me. I'm not into like characters who aren't leaders being giant leaders, or giant figures themselves being giant leader classes. Even if it kind of fits the scale, it's just always very odd to me. So yeah, I think he's a pretty neat little figure. I love this little guy. I like him more than Thunderwink, I think just because I like the colors more and I know more about Sky Shadow. Or Black Shadow, depending on which universe you're kind of looking at. Yeah, I think he's definitely a nice little figure. If you're going to get a version of this mold, I would definitely recommend this one. And yeah, he's worth the money. He goes for about 15-20 bucks on eBay, so not too bad. Just make sure he has his missiles and the little drone unit, which still works in this mode. You can still pull off the little drone, have it kind of flying off in the back. So yeah, I hope this has been Kerzac. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you have a great day. Take care.